still in that awkward period where I like shaved my head, and then I got a haircut because it was coming in weird, and it's still weird. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't sit right. Let me mute this. Okay. Anyways, I'm Skip Elsheimer, and this is the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show. I don't always talk about my hair, but it just doesn't look. Anyways, we watch old 16mm films, and what do we got today? What do we have today? Time for a Chroniques de France. Enjoy.
L'atelier de moulage du musée du Louvre est une institution aussi ancienne que le musée lui-même. Dès l'époque révolutionnaire et impériale, il fonctionnait à côté du Muséum culturel des arts. Installé au Louvre, il était chargé, comme il l'est resté depuis, de répondre à la fois aux besoins du musée lui-même et de servir auprès du public d'instruments inégalables de diffusion. L'atelier de moulage, situé actuellement dans les sous-sols du palais de Chaillot, est unique au monde par l'importance de son catalogue, plus de 3000 pièces, exécutées indifféremment en bronze, en plâtre ou en résine synthétique. Pour réaliser un moulage en plâtre, 2 moules sont nécessaires. Le premier en bois en contient un second en caoutchouc. Une fois graissé, afin d'éviter toute adhérence, il est enduit d'une légère couche de plâtre destinée à boucher toutes les cavités jusqu'aux plus minuscules. Cette opération est précédée par l'estampage, qui consiste à prendre l'empreinte d'un original avec de la terre à modeler.
Tiens, Dominique ou quelqu'un d'autre.
C'est dans le moule ainsi formé que sera coulée la gélatine
Vas-y.
qui contiendra le plâtre.
Elle tombe.
Pour rendre les moulages plus solides, on incorpore au plâtre des boules de chanvre. perfection et la fidélité des moulages, réalisés par les meilleurs spécialistes dans la grande tradition des maîtres artisans, les font solliciter par les musées étrangers, les chercheurs et les amateurs d'art.
Nous choisissons les moulages pour enrichir nos collections ou souvent parce qu'ils nous sont demandés par des particuliers. C'est un moulage et nous l'avons réalisé en résine pour lui donner de la densité puisqu'on peut charger la résine, ce qu'on ne peut pas faire avec les plâtres.
What happened? This next film is a... so that film was made by some French news agency and was sent out maybe as a cultural thing, advertising, promoting French culture, or maybe foreign language film. This kind of came in with a batch of foreign language films that I got from University of Oregon. This next film is a snippet from Craig Baldwin. Craig Baldwin is notorious for sending me little snippets of films, and I don't know where they come from, and he doesn't know where they came from, but this is about Zeiss, the lens people. Zeiss. Enjoy.
Ariane. Aus allen diesen Gründen steht sie mit der Movicon auf Du und Du. Auf ihrer Urlaubsreise in die Berge hat sie in München ein paar Tage Station gemacht. Und was sie hier nun sieht und was ihr gefällt, das filmt sie. Vergängliche Bauwerke aus der Hand kleiner Meister. Und die unvergänglichen Bauwerke der Großen. Und dann entdeckt sie noch etwas. Sie müsste keine richtige Frau sein, wenn sie sich davon nicht angezogen fühlte. Ein schönes Stück, eine nie wiederkehrende Gelegenheit im Saisonschlussverkauf, denkt sie. So kann man das Geld nicht verschleudern. Mal sehen, ob's passt. Es passte. Allerdings ist ihre Reisekasse etwas durcheinander geraten. Und so wollen wir Verständnis haben, wenn sie jetzt einige Schritte tut, zu denen sie sonst nicht bereit gewesen wäre. Und sie hat Glück. Es naht sich ein Ritter vom Gaspedal. Obwohl er in unserem Film keine Hauptrolle spielt, wollen wir ihn kurz vorstellen. Das ist Toni Oberbrüller, genannt der Ali Khan von Miesbach. Der Name sagt alles. Ei weh. Nein, meine Dame, wissen Sie, also das tut mir furchtbar leid, aber ne, wissen Sie, mein Dixie ist ja kein Güterzug. Spricht's und gibt Gas. Ja, es ist doch nicht alles Ritter, was steuert. Doch keine Regel ohne Ausnahme. Unsere Ausnahme heißt Peter Sager. Da er Journalist ist, schreckt er vor nichts zurück. Nicht einmal vor körperlicher Arbeit. Er weiß gleich, wie man solche Artikel anpacken muss, um sie unterzubringen. Das hat geklappt, denkt Ariane. Einfach himmlisch. Und wie das so geht, je weiter Sie fahren, desto näher kommen Sie sich. Ein herrliches Fleckchen, das zu einer kurzen Rast einladet. Ach, wundervoll, ruft Ariane. Da möchte ich eine Aufnahme machen. Diese Aussicht, so klar. Peter ist sich über seine Aussichten allerdings noch nicht so klar. Aber er freut sich, dass er zunächst einmal einen Anknüpfungspunkt gefunden hat. Vom Fotografieren versteht er nämlich auch eine ganze Menge. Ein Blick auf den Ikofot zeigt zwar nicht die Einstellung von Ariane, aber die der Blende. Und das wäre eigentlich schon alles, wenigstens was die Movicon betrifft. Denn durch ihre Rotpunkteinstellung stimmt die Schärfe immer. Peter tritt interessiert näher, denn er sieht gern hinter die Dinge. In diesem Falle auf die junge Dame hinter der Movicon. Immerhin eine Schmalfilmkamera in Querformat, das ist sogar für ihn etwas Neues. Und gerade ist der Film zu Ende. Nein, nicht unserer, der in der Movicon. Das werden wir gleich haben, sagt Ariane, Kamera auf. Ja, bei vollem Tageslicht, das macht gar nichts. Der 16 mm breite Film ist zum ersten Mal durchgelaufen. Jetzt wird er umgelegt. Dann kann die zweite 8 mm Hälfte belichtet werden. Durch die offene Bauart der Movicon ist das sehr einfach. Alle Teile sind leicht zugänglich und übersichtlich. Das geht sozusagen im Handumdrehen. Einlegeschwierigkeiten gibt es nicht, da sich die notwendigen Schleifen von selbst bilden. Jetzt muss nur noch der Vorspann durchlaufen und die Movicon ist wieder schussfertig. Filter sind leicht auswechselbar. Das lichtstarke Objektiv und die einfache Scharfeinstellung bis auf 20 cm ermöglichen praktisch Aufnahmen aller Art. Jetzt will Peter die Sache in die Hand nehmen und Ariane filmen. Wieso Sie mich? Wir uns. Kommen Sie mal mit. Ein Platz für die Kamera ist schnell gefunden. Der Auslöser wird festgestellt und die Kamera und Ariane laufen selbstständig weiter. So greift der Kameramann selbst in die Handlung ein. Peter hätte natürlich gern noch ein paar Tage Schmalfilmunterricht bei Ariane genommen. Aber leider ruft ihn der Dienst. Und auch sie muss weiter in irgend so ein kleines Gebirgsnest zu ihren Verwandten. Es ist sozusagen höchster Omnibus. Der Abschied ist kurz, aber herzlich. Wir brauchen wohl nicht zu betonen, dass Peter sie gern noch begleitet hätte. Aber er muss dringend nach Salzburg, um Material zu sammeln für den packenden Tatsachenbericht seiner Illustrierten, hat Mozart selbst komponiert. Tja, und nun wäre eigentlich unsere Geschichte aus. Wenn Ariane in der Eile des Abschieds nicht ihre Movicon vergessen hätte. Zum Glück aber hatte sie ihre Adresse eingeklebt. Peter hält das für einen Wink des Schicksals. Halt mal. Wozu gibt es denn die sinnigen, vielsagenden Filmplakate? Peter hat einen Einfall. Hallo, komm mal her, kleiner Mann. Wie heißt du? Otto. Fein, Otto. Verstehst du was vom Film? Klar, sagt er, ich bin doch Fachmann. Wunderbar. Und jetzt erklärt ihm Peter in wenigen Worten die Handhabung der Movicon. Otto versteht das sofort und will gleich losschießen. Aber, Moment mal. So schnell schreiben selbst Journalisten nicht. Na, nu denkt Otto, will der den Zaun verschicken oder... Naja, im Film passieren die komischsten Sachen. So, und jetzt Aufnahme. Und der Fachmann drückt entsprechend drauf. Otto ist vom Filmfieber gepackt und verdreht den Film bis zum letzten Zentimeter. Den Film gucke ich mir an, sagt er. Hoffentlich ist er jugendfrei. Für Ariane war der Film sogar besonders wertvoll, wie wir gleich sehen werden. Sie freute sich riesig über Peters Paket mit der Movicon und als sie auf seinen Rat hin die Zusatzaufnahmen von Otto und Peter vorführte, verstand sie den Wink mit dem Zaun auch ohne Pfahl. Und so nahm alles seinen Lauf. Und das hat mit ihren 8 Millimetern die Movicon getan.
That was German, right? German? Yeah. Amazing content of the film. The quality. Oof. Pretty hard. Pretty hard. And that is the nature of sometimes of the Craig Baldwin films. I don't know if any of you have ever been to his space in San Francisco, ATA. It's in... it's off of Valencia. And it is a former bakery, and his basement is nuts. It's really was amazing back in the day, but now it's even more so. All right, you guys want some English? I know you're jonesing for some English films in English, not of English descent, English origin. This is an American film, and it's about a kid gone wrong. Love those films. The transgressive teenager. This is Hard Brought Up. Enjoy.
I've called you back for a continuation of this juvenile court hearing and to give you my decision. I am sending you to the state training school. Jimmy, how long you are there depends on you and on the school. Miss Smith, you'll get to see your son again before he leaves. Make out the necessary papers, Miss Annie. It's pretty discouraging sometimes. Maybe the training school will be the answer for this boy. I just don't know.
Judge, it's too bad we couldn't get to that young man sooner.
But we certainly tried when we did get to him. I hope it wasn't too late.
So do I. By the way, I ran into James Thompson and Walter Jones the other day. You remember those two boys you saw in youth court about a year ago?
Oh, yes. How are they getting along?
Just fine. I think they're going to be all right. See you later.
But those were just little boys Miss Lingle was talking. People just don't realize how important it is to get to work on these young people at the very first sign of trouble. I think those little boys were only about 10 years old. I remember one of the youngsters was little Walter Jones. He was the kind of a boy my old dad would call hard brought up and little thought of.
You live here, Sonny?
Yeah.
What's your whittling? Your mother home?
No. She don't live here no more.
Who does stay here?
My grandma.
She home?
No, she works.
Well, give this to whoever does live here when they get home.
The other boy was young James Thompson. He came from a comfortable home, economically secure. But James, too, had his problems.
22, 24, 38, height. What's the matter? You yell? Come on, play ball. Get him, way
You mustn't play so hard, dear. Why, you're all wet with perspiration. Why don't you come on home?
Gee, how'd you catch him? Golly, I don't know. I guess I just tackled him. Boy, you're swell. Wish you was on my team. What you gonna do with your fro? Gonna take him home, cut his legs off, and eat him? What you got there? Oh, these just some crickets. Got a light for your bike? No, my folks don't like me going out at night. If they had a light, we could catch a lot of fish bait like that. It's getting late. I better be going home. Wait, I know a place we might sell those crickets. I'll go with you. Okay.
Station. Oh, just some cigarettes, small tools, and a flashlight. A prowl car picked him up just down the road from the service station. Oh, pretty young, Judge. Just 10 years old. One of them is young Jamie Thompson.
Jam Thompson's boy? Well, I'll declare it. Who's the other boy?
The other boy? His name is Walter Jones. His mother?
No, I'm his grandmother.
No, it's his grandmother with him. Just take him on back to number 2 cell block, Jim.
Your men did a nice job, Tom, picking those boys up so quickly.
Well, thank you, Judge. The reason I called you is because I know you always make the decisions on what to do with these young boys. Mr. Thompson just came in. How's that? Yes, sir, their first offense.
Remand them to the custody of their parents until I can arrange a court hearing. Tell them a child welfare worker will call on them. It'll probably be Joyce Lingle.
Well, I'll tell them, Judge.
I need a full report on both families. We've got to find out what's behind this sort of thing.
The judge says it'll be all right for the boys to go with you until he can arrange to have a hearing. And by the way, a child welfare worker will probably call on you.
I expected a certain amount of tension at the Thompson home. I met James on my way in. It was quite evident that he was in disgrace. I learned later that the other boy was Carl, James' older brother. I was to see a good deal of him, too. Miss Thompson was expecting me. Inside the house, the atmosphere was equally chilly. She talked about her early American furniture, her hobby, before she could get around to the purpose of my visit.
I know this must be pretty hard on you, Miss Thompson, but really it's not such an unusual thing.
But why our family? I try to be a good mother.
I'm sure you do, but perhaps we can find a reason for James' difficulties. That's why the judge wanted me to come out and talk with you.
James is different from Carl. I sometimes think there's something wrong, well, emotionally. He's not a strong child. I remember the night this thing happened. We were all at the supper table except Jamie. He was nearly an hour late. His father's a stickler for being on time. I think he would have punished Jamie, but I saw that the child's feet were sopping wet. I don't know where he'd been in all that mud. I had his favorite dessert, but he didn't touch it. Mr. Thompson said to me, "Why don't you let the child grow up? He thinks I baby Jamie." Can you imagine him growing up with pneumonia? I remember Carl had a date that night, and my husband, as usual, had to go back to his office. James wanted to go out too, but I said no. He had to do his homework. He's so disorganized. Mr. Thompson found Jamie's baseball mitt lying on the hall floor. He's not neat like Carl, and he wastes so much time with those little models. His father and I have to keep after him all the time. Mr. Thompson seems to feel it's all my responsibility. I do think his teacher gives him too much homework. It keeps him all nervous and jumpy, and he worries about it. But when I looked in on him, he seemed to have settled down to it. His father doesn't think I should help Jamie with his lesson. He says Jamie must learn some self-reliance. It seems that Jamie had forgotten his spelling book. He asked me if he could go use Terry Smith's. Of course, we don't allow him to run around at night, but the Smiths are very nice people and live just down the block. I never laid eyes on that child until that night at the police station.
You mean Walter, the little Jones boy?
I suppose you know his people? Well, they don't look like our kind. And I found out that they live in a very poor section of town.
Yes, it was a poor section of town. Not unfamiliar to Joyce Lingle, however. Her work takes her to all kinds of homes. Still, she wondered what she would find here.
I do the best I can for Walter, Miss Lingle.
I know you do, Miss Canby. It must be pretty hard with your working.
Catching those tables down at the cafe. Some nights I don't get home till after 12 o'clock. That boy could be all over town, and I wouldn't know where he was.
How long have you been looking after Walter?
Ever since his mother took sick and went to the TB hospital.
Well, what about his father? Don't you get any help from him? I mean, doesn't he ever send any money or anything?
Huh. From Will Jones, not a cent. He ran off and left Sarah when she first got sick. He drinks, Miss Lingle. Never was much good. And I'm afraid Walter takes after him a lot.
Do you ever hear from the father?
Just one time. He came by here and brought that old helmet for Walter. I wanted to throw it out, but Walter just about had a fit.
A boy does need his father.
Well, it's more than I can manage. The doctor says my poor old heart just won't take much more of this.
I'm sure we can work something out to help you, Miss Canby, if we just know a little more about your situation.
Lord knows I've tried. Like I told you, I work. But every evening, I fix Walter his supper before I go. Well, the night this thing happened, I had his supper ready for him. He knows I have to get to the cafe by 6. I don't know where that boy was. I don't like to leave until he gets home. He wouldn't say where he'd been, just around. Well, I couldn't wait to question him.
Now working as script girl for Jefferson Tamblyn. Tamblyn, as you know, is the head of Allerton Films, for which Helen Markey has the job of chief scenario writer. Today, Sherry is to see Jefferson Tamblyn to ask him what she has done to anger him. For in the midst of one of her most rewarding pictures, in the making at the moment, she has suddenly been switched to an unimportant
So two newfound friends from different parts of town got together and got into trouble. When the day of the hearing came, Joyce Lingle had done a good job in getting me the background material on these boys and their families. I knew these parents must be very concerned about what was going to happen to their children, that they were looking to us for help. The newspapers were writing about what they called a juvenile crime wave. This couldn't happen to their children. It must be someone else's fault. That's how they felt. In the course of the hearing, I got an idea of how the boys themselves felt about this thing. I let everyone have their say. James had been given every advantage, Thompson said. Walter was from good people on his mother's side, Miss Canby said. But these parents still didn't realize how much they and the pressures on them were responsible for their children's trouble. I knew they would have to understand this before we could help get the boys straightened out. I had this in mind when I gave my decision. In view of the extreme youth of these boys, and because this is their first offense, this court has decided to extend its temporary order, placing these boys in the custody of their parents. With this provision, however, Miss Lingle, our child welfare worker, whose professional training and experience fits her for the assignment, will continue to supervise these cases until the order is withdrawn. She may talk with the boys or with you parents. She may ask you to come to her office, or she may visit you in your home, or she may talk with the boys' teachers. Of course, this whole business will be handled in a confidential manner. She will work with you to get at the bottom of the trouble and to straighten this thing out. That will be all for today. Sorry to throw a curveball your way, Joyce.
That's all right, Judge. That's what we're here for, to help out in cases like these.
These boys are really going to need some help, and so are their parents.
Well, I guess it'll take quite some time before we can really accomplish anything.
You know, we have no youth counselor in this court, so...
So I go to work.
That's fine, Joyce.
Good night, Judge.
Thank you. Good night.
Before I bring you up to date on those two little boys who broke in the service station, there were a couple other things I wanted to talk to you about.
All right.
You remember that neglect case that was reported last week?
Yes, how'd that come out?
Well, I found those two children all by themselves and really in a mess. After I got them cleaned up a bit, I found the neighbor who reported it to take care of them while I went and found the mother who works. We were able to get them in a day nursery. And that unmarried mother who was in such a state, we were able to get her into a maternity home. She had a fine baby, and we're making plans now for its adoption through a private agency. Oh, yes, remember the little crippled boy? Well, I took him by to be fitted with braces by the Crippled Children's Service. Their doctors are looking after him, and they think he's getting on fine.
Oh, by the way, I heard some very nice comments about that speech you made before the PTA the other day.
Well, it still scares me a little bit every time I have to get up and talk. But they were all so interested in exceptional children. I think they're going to start a class because they really seem to recognize the need for it.
Miss Poindexter's here and wants to see you.
All right, I'll be right out. She's one of our best foster mothers. I wish we had a dozen like her.
Say, what about using her home for Walter?
That would be a good place. I'll talk to Judge about it today.
Well, good morning, Miss Poindexter.
Good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
Just fine. How are you?
Just fine. We just were shopping and came by because we wanted you to see Leroy's new shoes this morning.
Well, fine.
Well, that's a mighty good-looking shoe, Leroy. Do they feel all right?
They're fine.
You can still play in your old ones, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
These would be your Sunday shoes.
Miss Lingle, we must be going on. Lawrence is waiting for us in the pickup. But Leroy just had to come by and show you his shoes.
I want to come out and talk to you sometime soon about another child.
Okay, I'll be expecting you. Come, Leroy.
Bye-bye. I'm due over at Judge Andrews' office. I better run.
We'll see you later.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Joyce. Won't you have a seat?
Thank you.
What's new about the boys this morning? What do the physical examinations show?
Well, they both seem to be in pretty good physical shape, Judge. Oh, they could use some dental work, both of them. The Thompsons' family doctor didn't find anything wrong with James, in spite of all his mother's fears. He's been wetting the bed a good deal lately. The doctor examined him and couldn't find any physical basis for this. He said it could be caused by anxiety.
Well, that's interesting.
I also talked with James' teacher. She doesn't think that he's a bad boy. He just isn't showing any interest in his work. For example, when she corrected one of his papers, he just seemed indifferent. He never made any effort to improve. With so many pupils in her 4th grade, it was impossible for the teacher to concentrate very much on one child. She said she would welcome some expert advice. The teacher was glad to know that we were getting a psychological test on James by our staff psychologist. I tried to make James feel at ease, and perhaps I helped. I've been seeing quite a bit of him lately. At any rate, he did quite well, as you can see from my report. I think his teacher was surprised, and I know his family were relieved to know he has average intelligence.
And now about the other boy. I gather from your report that Walter's situation at home is not working out any too well.
No, it isn't. His grandmother doesn't seem to understand what Walter really needs. And besides, she has no time to supervise him.
I presume we're expecting too much of the old lady, and she isn't well either. You and I spoke on the telephone about the possibility of a foster home for Walter. Do you have a suitable one available?
I think we have a good one. But it would be quite a shock to his mother if she didn't understand the move.
Well, don't you think it would be a good idea to go out to the hospital and talk the thing over with his mother?
Yes, I believe I can do that tomorrow. Walter and I talked things over on our trip to the hospital. We stopped off on the way to pick up a present for his mother. We wanted to get him a haircut, too, but we didn't have time to do both. I knew Walter felt shy about seeing his mother the first time since he'd gotten in this trouble. Of course, Mrs. Jones knew about the affair.
The doctor was very glad I had brought Walter to see his mother. It seems that she'd been worrying a good deal about him. He thought our foster home plan for Walter would relieve a lot of her anxiety. He said that even after she went home, Miss Jones shouldn't work for a while. It was good to see them at ease again, even though Walter couldn't get too close to her. The doctor took Walter off to get a Coke, and I explained our plan to Mrs. Jones. Naturally, she was worried at first, but then she realized this was only a temporary arrangement until she could get on her feet again. I told her how much we all liked Walter and that we would still bring him to the hospital to visit her. As I talked about the foster home, I began making plans in my own mind how we could use church groups, public health nursing, or homemakers, and perhaps even an Aid for Dependent Children's grant to help Mrs. Jones later on in reestablishing her own home.
Glad you came by, Miss Lingle. I think Walter's getting along just fine now. Of course, we do have some problems with him. I've raised 8 children of my own, but each child is a separate individual.
You're right about that, but I bet you could handle every one of them.
We had kind of a rough spot with Walter the other day. He wanted to ride that old horse of ours. And Mr. Poindexter had told him that he might ride him on the pasture, but not on the road because the horse doesn't have any shoes on. Walter didn't wait for any explanation. He just heard the "you can't."
You're trying to stop me, I'll leave. I'll go back home.
I steered Walter over to a tree and said, "You just kick that old tree and get it out of your system." I said, "When you get tired of kicking, then I'll give you some loving." Walter is improving splendidly now. He hasn't had any more temper tantrums. He and Mr. Poindexter are great friends. In fact, they're out here in the yard now. I'm sure he wants to see you.
In the months that followed, I continued to visit Walter and take him to see his mother in the hospital. But I probably spent more time with James and his family. James needed the same feeling of being wanted, the same assurance of approval that Walter was finding at the foster home. by little, the family was beginning to accept James as a person, and with their acceptance, he became more acceptable.
We're so grateful to you, Miss Langdon. James Sr. is a different person with James. You know, at first, I was almost jealous of you. You seemed to have such a way with Jamie, but you brought us so much closer together.
So Mr. Thompson seemed pleased with the way things are going, eh, Joyce?
Yes, he said he thought Mrs. Thompson had improved so much. She isn't babying Jamie anymore. And you know, Judge, he even asked about Walter, wanted to know how he was getting along, and seemed to want to help in some way.
Well, I know a little about that. I ran into Mr. Thompson at our luncheon club the other day. Seems they organized a little fishing expedition. You know, Thompson rather fancies himself as a fisherman. But fishing wasn't the only object of this expedition.
The going would be tough for these boys in the years ahead. Growing up is never easy. But I could withdraw my court order now that they had guidance from understanding grown-ups. Backing the boys, too, were responsive community groups. Thanks to them, and in a large measure to Joyce Linkle, child welfare worker, these two boys were on the right road to good citizenship in a democratic society.
You say there are 2 children? How old are they? Yes, I'll be right out.
Oh my god, the accents were so crazy. Children's. Raising children's. Man. But it's a great story. And again, it is a film that talks about the importance of the welfare system. You know, that oh god, this is driving me nuts. Alright. That kids fall through the cracks. And you want to get them on the right track before they grow up. So, and this is coming from someone whose parents were social workers. All of them were. So, like, when my parents divorced and remarried, one married a Methodist minister, which is basically a social worker. One married someone who was in social services. So, yes, social workers. And then our generation, none of us were in social work because we saw how hard it was. But yeah, I think there's something to be said for supporting those who are the lowest tier in our society, because that will pay dividends. There you go. I'm getting off my soapbox. Anyways, thanks so much for joining us today. We'll be back again tomorrow, Wednesday, and we'll show you some more films. What I showed today, from Oregon Archive, from Craig Baldwin, and I'm excited to see you guys tomorrow. Thanks by saying thumbs up, subscribing, getting notifications. Super thanks is a way to support us. Patreon is a way to support us. KO-FI, which is coffee. You can buy us coffee. You can email us suggestions or observations. There's been some good suggestions that have popped up that I'm thinking about in a future show. Also, I got an email from a celebrity voice actor who was trying to track herself down in a film, and I'm trying to get her to come on and talk about the film and her career and her famous father's career. So maybe that will happen next week. We'll see. Anyways, we're gonna go back. We're gonna watch. Go back to our streaming 24/7 streaming thing, which is on Twitch. I'll give you a little preview of what it is, but then go over to Twitch, which is twitch.tv/avgeeks. It goes 24/7, and nobody watches it. There's a great opportunity to comment on there and to see stuff that I haven't shown on here or stuff that I haven't shown in a long time. So go over there. All right, love you guys. Talk soon. Bye.
I can just about taste those hot and crispy fries.
But don't you eat runners?
Me? Ernie, where are my Hardee's fries?
Hardee's, bestie.